So I've been getting a lot of questions lately about my gaming setup. It's pretty simple. There's a console section and a PC section. As I'm in the process of rearranging my setup, I figured now's as good a time as any to show you around. Welcome back to part 2 of my perfect gaming setup tour. In the last episode, we went through my console gaming setup, and today it's all about the gaming PC setup. Hey everyone, it's Rubes here. I'll be covering everything from the desk setup and lighting to my custom built PC, accessories, and personal decor that really makes this space my own. Hopefully this gives you some inspiration for your own setup. If you're enjoying the content, be sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. It really helps me out and keeps me making more videos for you. And as always, if you want to check out any of the items I mentioned, everything's linked in the description below. Now let's jump right into it. Let's kick things off with the desk itself. This setup is a budget-friendly IKEA build. I combined an Alex 5-drawer unit and an Alex cabinet, both on caster wheels, which are 36 centimeters wide, 58 centimeters deep, and 76 centimeters to the top of the desk. And I topped it off with an IKEA trodden tabletop, measuring 160 centimeters wide by 80 centimeters deep, which I found to be the perfect depth for my needs. I decided to go with this desk build as I wanted a clean, all-white aesthetic while keeping it budget-friendly, and I feel this combo really nailed it. With the combined Alex drawers and cabinet, there is ample storage to help keep my essentials organized, as I like to stick to the clear desk, clear mind motto. Other than my decorations, I like to keep the desk pretty minimal. And below the desk, I have the IKEA Signum cable trunk, which helps keep my power adapters and cables organized as best as possible. As I only recently reconfigured my entire setup, I am still in the process of perfecting the cable management. Next up, let's talk lighting. I've always been a fan of subtle RGB lighting, mainly white with a single color scheme positioned throughout, or so I thought, at least until I started seeing some insane lighting setups from a lot of creators out there. I've got a standard Govee RGB IC LED light strip which measures 2 meters or 6.5 feet around the back of the desk, which lights up quite nicely when bouncing off the white wall and provides a decent underglow below the desk as well. I've paired these up with 2 sets of Govee light bars, one set which is positioned behind the TV and another which is on the lack shelf above. They're all connected through the Govee app, which makes it easy to set the mood. One thing that the light bars have that the strip around the desk doesn't is Google and Alexa connectivity. So the added convenience of controlling these through multiple methods such as Google Home or even my Stream Deck is a feature I would definitely recommend when shopping for your lighting setup. My go-to colors in my setup are blue and white, or a shade of lime green with white for that clean, calm vibe. However, if I'm about to dive into a late night gaming session, I might just switch it up for something a little more intense. And if I need to get any work done, I tend to keep everything set to natural white, as I find that it helps me focus better. And finally, right atop my desk, I have my favorite IKEA donut shaped Van Blix lamp. I hope I pronounced that right. And a hot tip for you, if you do pick up one of these, make sure to open and check it for any cracks before leaving the store. That's another thing I had to learn the hard way. Now on to the heart of the setup, my PC. I built this custom myself, and while it's had a few recent upgrades, it's probably due for a full refresh rather soon. Let's run through the specs real quick. It's rocking an RTX 3060 Ti GB Vision GPU, an Intel i5 14600K CPU, an Asus ROG Strix Z790A Wi-Fi D4 motherboard, 32 GB of DDR4 Corsair Vengeance RAM, and dual M.2 SSDs, a Samsung 980 Pro 1TB and a Kingston MV2 2TB. Even with 3 terabytes of total storage, I find that it's still not enough for all the games and files that I have. So I've also got 2 external hard drives attached for the non-day-to-day files and for content backup. The whole setup is cooled with a Corsair Hydro Series H100i Platinum SE AIO, which has seen its better days. And there's also 6 Corsair case fans, 2 of which came with the AIO, and 4 of which are the QL120 fans. The whole system is powered by a Cooler Master PSU, and it's all tucked into a Corsair 275 Airflow white case. Above the PC tower, I have an artificial hanging plant, again from IKEA, to help hide the cables coming out of the back. Recently, I've started considering changing the case over to either the new Thermaltake 600 mid tower in the matcha green, as something to stand out in all the white, or I might keep the whole theme going with the Lian Li 011 Vision case. I am leaning more towards the Thermaltake 600, as from my understanding, the way that the motherboard is positioned in the case, the cables come out from the back end of the case. But I'd love to hear your input and recommendations in the comments below. I have a few key items on my desk. My main desk mat is a simple grey Logitech one, as it's quite sleek and low profile. I do have a few other mats I swap out from time to time, but I tend to stick to this one the most. I'm currently using a Keychron K2 75% mechanical keyboard with Acco cream blue switches and an OEM Keychron teal and white keycap set. I spray painted the removable metal frame myself to a color that I quite like and one that I feel stands out from all the white. I'm also using a Logitech G502X Plus white mouse, which has multiple mappable buttons with an RGB light on top and is a solid choice for both gaming and productivity, as you can set the mappable buttons to change based on the active program that's running. Speaking of productivity, I can't forget to mention my Stream Deck Mini. It's a total game changer and something that I believe that everyone will have use for. To learn more about it, check out my linked video. I currently have a dual monitor setup, both of which are AOC monitors. My main is a 27-inch 1440p 155Hz monitor, and the secondary is a 24-inch 1080p 165Hz monitor, which I mainly use for things like Discord, Notion, or anything else that looks better on portrait mode. As you can see, the main monitor is mounted on an arm, freeing up a lot of desk space compared to the secondary monitor's included stand. I was hoping to have my new dual monitor arm in white for this video, though it sadly did not arrive in time. This is actually a great example of how monitor mounting arms are a great way to free up desk space while providing a clean look and keeping everything in easy view. For the audio side of things, I'm currently using the trusty Creative Pebble speakers. They're nothing fancy, but they get the job done. And tucked right behind my secondary monitor, I keep an air purifier, which is great for dust and allergy control. If you don't have an air purifier in your setup, I highly recommend one. It has personally helped make a big difference with my seasonal allergies. And to the left of my desk, I've mounted the Lego Mercedes AMG F1 car, which took longer to assemble than I'd like to admit. It's framed in an IKEA Rodan black frame with a custom poster I created on Canva featuring the F1 and AMG Petronas logos and vehicle description at the bottom. I secured the car with frame wire that runs through the chassis and passed it through the plastic frame screen to ensure it's safely in place. I mainly mounted it here to avoid an empty space between the PC and console setups, and as it's affixed with command strips to prevent any risk of it falling and breaking from a height. Moving to the wall above my PC, I've mounted a 43-inch 4K TCL Android TV, which I've had for some time. I have also set this TV up as a third monitor for my PC, because why not, right? I occasionally use it for watching content when using my PC. However, it's what most of my consoles are connected to via a HDMI switcher, except for the PS1 and the PS2. That way, I can switch between all my consoles easily without having to mess with cables every time. The two Govee light bars that are mounted behind the TV add that extra flair, especially for those late night gaming or binge watching sessions. I did my best to hide the cables that run up to the TV with this white cable sleeve that keeps within the aesthetic. And finally, above the TV, I've got an IKEA lac shelf set up as a display space for some of my favorite collectibles. Starting off, there's the second set of Govee light bars mounted to the top of the shelf with the cables running neatly through this conduit. And then we've got my lineup of Lego helmets. I've got Captain Rex, Darth Vader, the Mandalorian, and Boba Fett. In between the helmets, I've got a few Lego brickheads, including Obi-Wan, Darth Vader, and Commander Cody. And spread out between the Lego, I've got some of my favorite Funko Pops for that extra touch of personality. Try and take a guess at what my all-time favorite sci-fi universe is. To the right of the TV, I've got some controllers mounted on the wall, which not only keeps things organized, but adds to the visual appeal of the setup. On the desk, I've got a few more Funko Pops, which will soon be relocated to new shelving to help keep the desk space free, and the Batmobile from the original Michael Keaton Batman, which is also another favorite of mine. But this one's gonna stay right here, right next to BB-8, the Sphero app-controlled droid, which sadly no longer lives. Still a very good droid though. Who's a good droid? And that wraps up part 2 of my gaming setup tour. I hope you all enjoyed getting a closer look at the PC side of things. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions or if there's anything that you've seen that I haven't covered. I'd love to hear your thoughts, especially about the case upgrade, or if you think I should relocate the framed Lego F1 car. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like this video. I have a lot more content coming your way. Thanks again for watching everyone, and I'll catch you in the next episode.